Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of War of the Gods. This is episode 15B. We will explain why it is 15B in a moment. I'm your host for tonight. It's Woodhouse, joined by my usual co-host, Gareth. What's going on, Gareth? Why are we here again? We did an episode last night.
We did do an episode last night, and due to technical issues, we're back here tonight. So tonight it's the speedrun episode. We've talked about it for a long time.
Yeah,
we've promised the people. It's just a little bit earlier.
We haven't promised the people.
Yeah,
we promised we wouldn't do this. This is what's going on. Yeah, so I made a cock-up. I've been trying to get the video settings the way I want them on these last few episodes. And hey, the video looks great. I'm sure everyone's going to realize this looks crisp. This looks nice. You just can't hear me on any of it.
I mean, some would call that an improvement.
Well,
so here we are.
Yeah.
I mean, really, they're only here for me, right?
Oh, obviously. Yeah. I mean, all right. I'm gonna go. I'll see you later then, Gareth. All right. But yeah,
I mean, it's hard for me. You need to at least press play, and then I'll commentate over the rest. It'll be fine.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. We've condensed yesterday's recording with no volume over the top of it, and we're gonna talk over it, how we see it, because I tell you what, actually, it's an exciting episode. Let's put it that way.
I would describe it as intense.
Intense is a good way to put it. Let's get into it.
This is going to be a stunning introduction.
Yes, of silence. It's good. It was good. I felt like we only needed one take for this. It was good. But yeah, I kept this video in because we actually forgot something. We actually came past this. We're surprised that there was no fight in the cave, and then found later on,
there's no village.
There's no village here either. There's meant to be a village in that weird little screen, the little square that's just in between Bowie and Astral, just to the side there. It's missing a town, so the whole town's missing.
So yeah, you can sort of see the texture underneath the brown mountains where it's sort of not there anymore.
Yeah.
But it's keto.
Yeah.
Whatever your diet choice is, it's there. So yeah, we talk about this and how it's not there, and how it's literally like fight Gesp, go to Palkion, and we move along. John teabags the non-existing village.
Yep.
Because of all those years of playing Halo, and he's just got nothing but BM.
I don't like Halo. I don't know where this misconceptions come from, but then we moved on to this cave, because we also missed this cave out. And it's one of the few things actually in this section that's different, because as you will see here, we get the healing arrow. Yeah, which we gave to Janet, and you get to see what that does later on. We then move on to the bridge fight. Now, for the sake of time, I have put these through as 3 times speed. There's no difference in any of the dialogue.
Image quality, yeah.
The dialogue in these fights is normal. It's vanilla.
John's used the magic of editing to give all of the editing for combat boost.
Yeah.
So everyone's full on hype. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the scenes when you boost people. Like, do they become part of the universal vibration?
Quite possibly. So this fight is pretty straightforward. I think we'll find.
There's some subtle changes, like a lot of ranged units. Those demon knights, really hit hard.
Yeah, they're the ones that I was like concerned about to begin with. But yeah, I think the only thing that made this even this went quite well for us, this fight. The only thing that was difficult was that these demon knights were here, like in our faces straight away. If I could do this fight again, I would stay back instead of going forwards and let them come to me. But
John would have reverted to his usual turtle shell,
Yeah. Well, hey, it worked well in the past.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I think when we did this fight last night, you were concerned about this shaman, and they've got Blaze 3.
Yeah.
So there was definitely some concern there. So we're sort of trying to thin things out and get as much advantage there. We were actually testing out to see what the healing arrow may or may not do.
That's right.
There was some discussion about whether it was going to be kind of like a drain item or some kind of like bond link like you get in certain games. We were over-egging that pudding pretty heavily.
Yeah. So what I will say is that these archers, we actually faced one on the last episode right at the end. These archers are annoying.
Very. We also realised that the archer sprite, I was right, from the episode prior to this, that they are from Shining Force Mega CD.
Yeah.
And we joke about the way they sort of like throw the bow at you in their animation. And
that's right.
There's some talk about Olympic archery, and then some guy who does the Hawkeye archery stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're not really missing out on there. You're just missing out on me and John just talking out
Jabbering.
of our...
yeah. Here comes Boost. So let's see what happens here.
This is going to be so intense at level 3.
They just look like they're standing still. They've passed through. They've inceptioned their way into like non-existence at this point.
Well, usually when the spell's cast on them, that's not when you see it. This is where we start to wonder if Peter's worth keeping in the Force as well.
Yeah, because he got one shot.
Many things. Yeah. Either that, or we've just been holding him back too much.
Not really, because like I made sure that. So one of the things that I've cut out is that I made sure all the characters were the same, at least level 7, or level 8. I forget which.
I think it could be 8.
Yeah, it might be 8. But we made sure they were all the same level. So technically speaking, if the game is balanced correctly, Alex, hi, then there shouldn't be an issue. I must say though, like so far, there has not been a standout terrible unit yet.
Yeah.
Everyone is a lot closer together in their abilities.
Yeah.
And there were definitely. Check this move out, right? Look where Road is. Like this is like the beginning of my sort of like big brain involving Road, because I feel like Road is the tank that the game has always needed.
Literally a tank that this game has.
Yeah.
Because he's the only brass gunner. But yeah,
but check out that defense. He has 90 defense. That comes into play later on. So
John is all about that thick road tank lifestyle
definitely.
right now.
Okay, so what I will say is that he still gets hit by spells very hard.
Yeah,
that is his only weakness.
That's kind of a classic RPG armor unit thing in these kind of tactics games, because Vandal Hearts leans heavily into like, oh, if you're heavily armored, physical attacks aren't a problem. However, magical attacks are kind of an issue, especially, for example, you being boiled alive in your own suit of armor.
Yeah, definitely. So what I will say is, you will notice that most of the enemy archers are trying to kill Slade.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, okay? And, well, I'll say no more.
There is definitely some weird AI choices, and I think we were trying to discuss whether it's because we work out that Slade has the lowest defense in the Force,
and I think
that the AI.
I think that's why. Because
the
definitely
priority
goes
go to that.
Weak characters.
Because is it in the previous episode? I think like the amount of times units just walk past Bowie when like usually they try to kill Bowie.
Yeah, So I think early on, like one of the commenters said that getting a shield on Bowie is a really good idea, and I think that is a really good idea because what it does is it boosts his defense higher than most of the other characters that you have, and since the AI is more likely to go for low defense characters when it can, it will ignore Bowie.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of like duping the AI really into making bad decisions.
I mean, we were talking a little bit about this last night in this fight and the next fight, that there seems to be some AI manipulation available in this mod that definitely in the base game is harder to do. And in Shining Tactics, everyone was just like, kill Bowie. It was like the Dante may die mode for Shining Force.
I think you've got a point. I would say that like in this mod in particular, even more so than maybe Shining Tactics, there are more tools available to you to do that with.
Yeah.
Like everyone's got like active items that they can use to the benefit of the Force. So
yeah, I mean, you're getting active items much earlier on in the game, and they're also a lot more beneficial super early on. Big shout out to Medical Rod.
Rod. Yep.
May he live in our hearts. But yeah, this fight is. I think we get a little bit bogged down at this section of the bridge, just because the holes kind of. We've got like a lot of ground units.
Yeah.
I'm unsure whether it's something we were discussing whether or not we want to put Luke back in the Force a little bit. Well, I know I kind of want to for the spell abuse.
Well, there is another thing we should probably bring up because obviously this
talk about
silence. But I put forward maybe we should have a randomizer because
spin the wheel, place your bets now, ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. All bets are in.
I'd like to hear some people's input on this because so far it's been a while since we lost a fight, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I thought it would be more interesting and give opportunities to units that normally would be kicked out. Oh, here it is. Yep.
Yeah.
So the reason that Slade died there, I don't know if you noticed, was because Rode was confused and he killed him. At this point,
not only was Rode confused, he was confused and he had boost.
Yeah.
And both the confusion and boost ran out at exactly the same time.
Well, it's not just that; it's the fact that Slade dodged like 5 different attacks that normally would have killed him.
Oh, it's Rode. He's waving. He's not waving at me. Oh my gosh!
He's killed me. Yeah.
I'm dead. I'm so dead.
But yeah, I thought that like the randomizer might not be a bad idea simply because we're doing well so far. We haven't lost for quite a while, and it would give more of a shout out to some of the characters that normally wouldn't get used. So I set a stipulation on it that we had to beat Zalbard without losing, and if we can do that, then I will try out the randomizer and see how it goes.
This is slightly less. Is it more or less punishing than the Kiwi tattoo? I'm unsure at this moment.
Well, we'll have to see, won't we?
I mean, the randomizer would be more punishing in the base game when you don't have the training option to buy the levels to balance everyone out.
That's the thing, isn't it? But at this point, like we're just sort of like accruing cash out of our backsides and nothing to use it on, really.
For people who just exclusively play the vanilla game all the time, and who like do all the big grinds to like get the numbers and the science behind stuff, like big sort of like shout out to you guys for going through that grind. But also a big shout out for Alex for just allowing us to do what rich people do and buy our way to success.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say though that like that kind of play isn't. It's definitely not me. I don't know how Gareth feels about like the getting people over leveled. I just can't find it myself to do it normally. But there we go.
Very rarely.
That's the first fight. It's quite straightforward. We only lose Slade and Peter, I think. I'm going to fetch up my gripe with this cutscene here. Which is, I'm going to just give it a moment. Yeah.
So if you want to finish your point, but here we go. Is when she throws herself off and she's like revealing the master plan. Why doesn't she not just run to the left and off the cliff? Why does she go across the bridge and get halfway across before throwing herself off the bridge?
Maybe she's aiming for a specific point. I don't know.
Perhaps. Is this like
maybe there's a trampoline down there?
Boing. Whee!
Yeah, maybe. We don't know.
But as you can see, like you can see it underneath the cliffside that the water's there still. So if she's looking to jump in the water and she's going to come back Black Panther style, she was fine. And that's always my gripe.
Black Panther, he does not jump off the cliff and he's fine. He's less than fine. He needs some like voodoo magic to bring him back to life. He's essentially dead.
I mean, they essentially say that because he part froze, that's what saved him.
Yeah. He's not fine, Gareth. Come on.
I mean, I feel that you're nitpicking here, John.
I am.
Let's be honest.
All right, so there's not a lot to see in Tristan. Everything's more or less the same.
Demon Rod.
Yeah, we do get the Demon Rod here that we give to, I think it's Tywin. And then we get the Demon Axe, and we give that to Yaha. Yeah. They're both very good upgrades, and they don't curse you when you equip them.
Yeah.
So
that was one of the things. Yeah. Also, Alex did a hi. I hope you're enjoying the game. Shout out.
Yeah.
Giving Bowie is that his third set of text in the game?
I think so. Yeah. Where normally there would be none.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fight is a bit more difficult. You'll notice that those two units appear, by the way. So we think at the beginning of this fight that's going to continue happening. Yeah,
we think there's going to be a lot more spawns.
Yeah.
I mean, this fight is, again, there's a lot of high attack, high movement, or high magic damage. We do wonder if we're going a little bit too gung-ho on this to start off with.
Again, yeah, if I had to do this again, I'd definitely be a lot more cautious going forwards than I did. But yeah, you'll see how it turns out. Like, we are halfway through this video, and the previous fight took maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, we're here for a bit.
I mean, there's not a lot of exploring in the last episode, if I'm honest. There's also a lot of the secret administration game that all RPG players don't realise that that's what they're really here for.
There's a lot of menu management that I've skipped out on because it's not that interesting at all. So
we also noticed the theme of Archer on Archer violence continues, and we're not quite sure what this is about, but...
Yeah, so you'll notice that that's one down. I made a grave error in pushing everyone far too far forward.
Right. And then we clump everyone together again, like the absolute pros that we are.
So in my defense, the shaman are usually the ones to take full advantage of that, and you'll notice that there's only one of them, and I try to get rid of him as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, also as I comment, I don't know whether it's at this point, but you kind of have to push forward a little bit because it's such a bottleneck.
Yeah.
For getting off that beginning of the island, it really does put the
pressure on you.
Like, there's a lot of pressure. They've got all the space to attack.
Yep.
And you're kind of having to try and make the space. I think that's still the right position-ish for Screech. You know what I mean? I could argue a lot of things. We started to notice that these Death Archers are apparently like 45 defense.
They have really high defense, but they still do decent damage. That's the trade-off that didn't seem to make sense to me.
Yeah, but it's like the defense looks like it's not that high compared to some of the other units, and the damage output just seems silly.
Yeah, it's not just that though. They have 100. I think it's like 145 health, which I think is the most out of any unit on the field here. So yeah, I will admit I make some mistakes in this, but as you can see from here, like, there's a lot of units coming towards us all at the same time. It was kind of a lot to try and
swarm.
Yeah. Okay, Peter's down, so that's 2.
Peter's one shot again.
Wait, he was half health already, but yeah.
Was he half health?
Then Higgins is down. That's 3.
Yeah. So is that 3 Death Archers there?
Yeah, there's 4. 4 of them. So we've lost like a third of the force already, and we've maybe taken care of the same number of them. Like, it's not looking good at this point. It's
at best we're 1-for-1ing each other, and there's far more of them.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Let's put it that way. It's not the way I would like to do business.
Yeah. It's not how the exchange rate should run. No. Just ask anyone with GameStop shares.
Oh, we're going to do that, are we? Okay.
Just briefly.
One
of the other things that we noticed is with this map, and I don't remember it happening. There you go. John was finally happy.
Yes.
He even commented before this, is like, oh, if Slade
one hit kills.
One hit kills someone, we can win this fight. Because when we were playing this much slower, this fight looks absolutely against us.
Well, it was. It was against us. That's the thing.
It really, really. I mean, at this point, I'm talking to John, and as you can tell, my arms are folded and my body language. I'm just laughing at this because John's confident that, because the Giss arms worked once, we're going to win this fight. And it's like, yeah, but there's like 10 more things we have to kill, and we're just.
Yeah, again, everyone slayed with the clutch dodge, though.
Yeah.
So this is something I'd like to get someone's opinion on, actually, or the comments' opinion. Should I continue to keep Slade in the fight because he has high agility and will soak up a lot of damage just by dodging? Or should I get rid of him?
It is not soaking up the damage if he's dodging it. He's soaking up the pressure, he's not soaking up the damage, because what happens when he soaks up the damage is he's dead.
That's fair. Also,
I mean, as I joked previously, it's like it's like you make a comment somewhere. It's like, I think he gets the point. I went, yes, the arrow to his face that killed him is the point.
So I'd like to point out that here where Road took up position. Now Road is like in the bottleneck, and he is absolutely MVP for this fight without doubt. He sits there and just soaks. He actually soaks up damage.
He's like some of my co-workers at work. He just sits there.
Just I haven't met your co-workers, but I'll take your word for it. As the fight is like dragging on,
like the MP is going, man.
Yeah.
Like watching this now, it's like this game really like emphasizes the power of magic users.
Yeah.
That might have been the point when I commented about the bolt to the face.
Probably. So half our team is gone at this point.
Yep, there I go.
Yep.
Snappy nap time.
So I think the only physical damage dealers we got left are Janet and Bowie at this point.
And Road.
And Road.
But Road's issue is like everything that he's holding up, he can't really attack because the one square away.
Yeah, and he obviously can't attack there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what? How many enemies are there? Like 7?
I think I'm actually just constantly saying the word aggress at you right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm just being stubborn and saying no.
Yeah, and you're like, but no, we got the Giss arm hit, so we're going to win the fight. I said if we get the Giss arm hit, we're going to win. As you can see, we are very low on MP.
Yeah.
A lot of our units that are left are ranged, and everything's wanting to come towards us. Even Kana, sweet, gentle Kana. Oh, and the archers keep poisoning us.
Yeah. Luckily, like, aid only takes up 2 MP. So we managed to stumble past that.
Yeah.
With just, the small amount of MP that we have left on Rick. But yeah, at this point, you're going to see a lot of this particular formation from both sides, because we're just sort of like trying to whittle them down with no MP left.
Yeah.
Can't do very much. Relying on sort of like the debuffs that physical attacks on staffs give.
Yeah.
But throughout all this, like, Gareth you're ready to just. You're just seeing it as restart the fight. Like, you're seeing this as a waste of time, and I'm like,
this is just an XP boost. This is what this fight was. It was just XP boost. It's like, yep, get as much as you can, because I'm thinking about that sweet monies we've been earning, that 72 grand that's just chilling in Bowie's pocket in the hammer space.
Yeah.
Wherever RPG characters keep all of that gold.
That's a good point, actually. There's no accountant characters, is there?
I mean, technically, is Astral not the accountant character? He's just sat in the caravan.
I guess. I mean, he disappears before every fight, so you do wonder what he's doing. Is he just sort of like, Scrooge McDucking, like, the money in the caravan there?
Yeah,
before
possibly.
Every fight?
And this is where we get benefit. So Road's poisoned as well. So Road's taking 7 poison damage a turn.
That's right. And I think the Minotaur is poisoned as well because of Janet, and taking 15 damage every turn.
This is the point where I comment, Are we just stalling them out until people die from the poison damage?
Well, the last demon archer, is it the demon archer? I forget what he's called now. The archer, the last archer, dies because of the poison damage.
Poison damage, yeah, he dies on his turn.
Yeah. So, slowly but surely, Road is just sort of like the brick wall that stops everything. Nothing gets past him. So
all we do is heal him. We heal him with all of the rods.
Yeah.
This is like we're even using super inefficient. Like Tyrin is just like every turn, just for his XP boost, is using this super inefficient medical rod, or what? It's not even a medical rod, is it? A fairy staff or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this for some reason the shaman in the top right starts playing peekaboo behind the pillar.
That's right. Yeah,
like,
he could. If he had come forward, I'm fairly certain we would have lost.
Yeah.
So,
especially in that formation.
Yes, in this formation.
In that formation, if he just goes behind the demon bull, he kills us with Blaze 3.
Definitely. But yeah, as you can see, like we're slowly getting there. The bull goes down, and then we got some choices to make, because obviously there are still two of the demons and the shaman left. Is it those three, or is there a fourth there that I can't see?
No, there's 3.
Yeah.
So now
we have the numbers.
We've ground our way. Yeah.
It's just the choice of where to put everybody, because obviously I don't want to commit anyone. The last thing we want is to move forward with Bowie and get caught out. So
yeah, and Bowie's poisoned as well, because he just took 7 points of damage at the end of his turn.
Was it Bowie? Or was it Janet?
It could have been either Janet or Road. This is where John gets brave and decides he's going to attempt to bottleneck again.
Yeah.
The shaman with the dodge, that peekaboo hiding practice was also for missiles as well as pillars, just dodging out the way. Yeah, this is. We also got lucky because of the Janet double attack. John was so desperate to go forward. See what I mean?
I'm so glad he didn't.
If that guy had come forward earlier, we would have lost this
we
fight
would have been
so
screwed.
badly.
Yeah, we really would have been. Road gets like an absolutely clutch stun on the shaman there, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he does. And then we use the last of Kana's MP to boost everyone here.
Boost everyone, yeah.
So,
like as I commented during this, it's like, it's all eggs in the basket now, isn't it?
Pretty much.
I think this is the end of Rick's magic as well.
It is, yep. Road just like dodges because, he knows he's MVP. Road. He's just flexing at this point.
Yeah. He's got the Man of the Match award. He's just showing off what else he could have done.
Yep.
This was a big move as well because it kills 2 out of 3.
And then there's just the one guy left.
Yeah.
He still, I think he still could have one-hit killed Bowie, actually, thinking about it.
There's still a chance that he crits, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, guess what happens? Boom, he's stunned. And there's me shouting MVP.
Look at John's hype for this.
Look how animated I am. I know I'm 3 times speed, but I'm still hype.
I think you were virtually 3 times speed when it was going on. Like my ears are like. I didn't realize that my son, while he's been doing his homeschooling, turned the volume up on my laptop. So John's at 100% through these headphones that I've got on, and John was super hyped for this. And here we go.
Yeah.
We point out that we missed the chest, which is probably the ground orb because it's mentioned in the narrative.
But at that point, I didn't really care because
everyone was dead. Everyone was dead, Dave.
Yeah, everyone should have died. That should have been a loss. I refuse to lose, so we get through it anyway. So
yeah,
that's the episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, as such as it is. It's a little bit different this time. I've sorted it out, as you can probably tell. It shouldn't happen again. But that's it from me for now. I will see you next time. Thank you very much, Gareth. Anything you want to add before we go?
Always check your settings before you start something, people.
Definitely.
Buckle up, seatbelts, safety checks. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.
Ciao, guys. See you later.